I don't know where to start with what should I say and how I should say it, but um, I'm just thinking to myself, it's late night, um, reflecting on my circumstances and my personal character, like who I am as a person and who I'm becoming, right? So I'm not doing too good, like mentally, um more so emotionally, because the way I feel is really like I don't I don't feel like I could trust people, and I feel like that because of the lack of validation I received throughout my whole life. When I was young, I used to get bullied in school, elementary school, middle school. That had nothing to do with me. Um, so that lack of validation, or the I don't know what to call that. That's not. There's a sense of like, when you're being traumatized as a child, there's a sense of like, if kids are treating me like this, they obviously don't value me, right? On the other side, I always valued being validated way more than I should have. Like, I seeked validation, which was a mistake that I can't say I knew better, because I didn't have the structure or the guidance to kind of, tell me, maybe I shouldn't be so concerned about what people think about me, or like girls, friends. Like, I should have focused on my education. I should have focused on my career path as I got older, but I never cared about those type of things. I was always seeking, relationships when it came to friends and family and girls, things of that nature. So I've made mistakes too, like in my life, where I just wasn't focused on the right things. Instead of focusing on myself and building a relationship with myself, the way I valued myself was based on what other people thought about me, and that's a mistake. Um, and by the time I was learning that, it was kind of too late. But then when I did realize, I'm like, okay, like, I made poor choices. Like, I didn't want to accept that. I wanted to be validated. I wanted the validation or my pride. I wanted the way I felt about myself. I wanted it to be confirmed with people, so I wanted to be validated, because I always was prideful. Um, and I'm saying all of this, right? Because when you are prideful and you're too prideful, you're going to get disappointed, because the world isn't going to gravitate towards mostly anyone. Unless you're a pretty girl, then yeah, it might seem like the world revolves around you with men. But most people are not going to get the validation that they would like to receive, or feel entitled to. So I'm saying that, I've definitely made mistakes, and I made poor choices, and trying to make sure that I'm also stating that I do take responsibility for the way that I feel, because I over validated myself by feeling like I was something that I wasn't. And looking at where I'm at now in life, I'm 30 years old, and I sleep on the floor, and I have a bad reputation on the internet, and my gambling addiction that's a story on its own. And the effects of it is kind of what this video is about, where even though I was wrong, there's at points where I wasn't wrong, when I get, from the beginning, when I talked about the bullying in school and being rejected by females. Like, I try to do things differently when it came to girls, but I think essentially the reason why females didn't want me is because I'm not the most attractive guy. And as I got older, I've never been financially stable. So, not having a car, I invested all of my money into like cameras and film, like I wasn't I never was the best dressed. Like I never was concerned about, my appearance as much. And then like by the time I really wanted to get my own apartment and things like that, my gambling addiction was it just took over. So I made poor choices. But again, when it comes to girls, it was like I genuinely feel like I didn't have much control over that. When you take out the financial part of it, I didn't have no control over females not wanting anything to do with me. Like they weren't interested in me in comparison to their options. And I've even lowered my standards. And when I did that, when I started lowering my standards and I was still getting the same results, like I had to extremely lower my standards to the point, like if I wanted to get in a relationship, but I'm like, nah, that's just ridiculous, because now I'm just pursuing relationships that I know I don't want to be in at all. So that's not healthy. And why would I want to do that, right? I still feel like I didn't get to the point on why I'm even making this video, but when you feel like, I'm gonna speak for myself, when I feel that I've always been unwanted and people had a lack of interest in me, no matter what I did, if it wasn't financially, if my status wasn't financial or social, if I didn't have a high social status in high school, I was a rapper and things like that, so I was a little bit more popular in my senior year. But take that away and just me as a just regular person, nobody's concerned about me. I kind of, and I'm just thinking about my life and trying to be successful, and part of me feels like it kind of doesn't even matter, because if I do become successful, I feel so alone that I would never want to be the rich person or financially stable and have people around me when I know these people are only around me based off of what I could provide, based off of if whatever social status I'm able to gain. And unconditional love is something that most people most people don't love unconditionally, and most men don't get loved unconditionally. But it's important to me because it's something that it's what allows me to trust somebody. That's the determination. That's what I'm going to determine if I want to trust people. But I know nobody's going to accept me unconditionally. They're only going to accept me conditionally. And I just don't have the desire to really be around people. So I feel like I'm going to be alone forever. I think I can have moments with people, but I don't want to have any relationship with, I don't want to have any long-term relationships because it's just unhealthy. My insecurities are just way too strong, within reason. It's not just narcissism. It's not just pride. People really weren't interested in me at the same time, I know that. And I'm bothered by it because, I try to tell myself the only way I could really love people is love without any expectations. If I put an expectation on people, they're going to disappoint me because they've always disappointed me. And I can love from a distance, but I can't have someone close to me and love them because most people are going to hurt me. And I believe that with, I don't feel like I just believe that. I feel like that's been proven to me. Not to say I'm perfect. I'm not perfect at all. At all. You know what I'm saying? I've made poor choices. I burn bridges. Like I've done a whole bunch of things too, I don't want to make it seem like I'm at a point where I don't want to just be the complete victim but I have been a victim in my life. And that's just my reality. I look at things from all angles, or I try to look at things from every angle, not just from my personal perspective. And when I look at it from every angle, I genuinely feel like I have enough evidence to believe that I'm only going to be used until I'm useless. And if I'm useless, then I'm useless, you know? That's life though, you know? I'm just going to have to find a way to love people with no expectations. And if I feel like somebody's getting too close to me, I'm going to love from a distance. But there's not too many people in my life or in life in general that I want to hold close to me. Because it's me, there's insecurities that I have, and I just don't have that desire. I don't want to desire being validated anymore. I don't even care, and if I do care, I don't want to care. And I don't know what else I could say, but I just feel like I'm really gonna forever be single. Like forever alone, and that's by choice too. And again, there's a big problem with myself. I don't know how to really connect with people temporarily or build the relationship, because I'm so caught up in what can I really expect from this person. And you know, it's just not gonna work with someone like me. I'm not gonna change because I am who I am, and I have changed, but we all change over time. But I just feel like I don't want to offer nothing to nobody, and I don't want to expect nothing from nobody. But I also don't want to make this video too long. It's a quiet night for me. It's a quiet night for me, and I'm laying down and I'm thinking, like, what if I do become successful? Even if I did, like, what would change? I'm still not going to trust nobody. I'm still not going to love nobody. I don't have any reason to. I mean, there's a few people. I can count on one hand on how many people I could really trust, and, you know, who would I feel comfortable with providing to. But outside of that, I just don't feel the need to really love people or be around people. But I don't want to become a bad person either, or completely, you know, I isolate myself enough. So it's like, that's where I'm talking about loving from a distance. You know, I could probably love people from a distance, and, you know, doesn't mean I can't do favors for people if it's comfortable for me. And I'm just thinking that if I get into a position that I really want to be in, what type of person would I be? You know what I'm saying? If I had a couple $100,000 and I can maintain that, like, you know, I could give things to people, but I would give with no expectation. And if I don't have no expectation, there's no value into who I'm giving to, too. It's like, here you go, leave me alone. Or, you know, here you go, I'm gonna walk away from you, because I don't expect nothing from you. And if I do expect anything from you, I expect you to disappoint me. So I know this is a long video, but it's something that I just need to express, because I've been hurt the majority of my life. And I hurt myself the majority of my life. But a lot of people hurt me too. And I'm not just playing a victim. When I really think about a lot of things, I feel like there's more people that hurt me than I've hurt them. And I genuinely believe that. So it makes me feel like I deserve better, but I'm never going to get better.